What's up? It's your girl Torica, and you're tuned in to Music Exclusives TV. If you're not watching this, you're watching nothing.
What's up? This is Livengoodlivin with the music exclusives. I got Torica here. How you feeling?
I'm feeling awesome. I'm feeling like it's Labor Day weekend in New York.
What you better get into this weekend?
Well, we can talk about that offline, but I hear that there are
Got
some
you.
huge parties going on, some block parties. I want to eat. I want to have a little cocktail and catch a vibe somewhere.
A whole mood.
A whole mood, yeah.
Speaking of a whole mood, you got a single, a whole
Yes,
mood. Can we get
absolutely.
into that?
Yes, so I'm really excited about this single because I feel like it represents how a lot of people feel in relationships. A lot of people, because of the pandemic, were kind of forced to be,
Yeah.
super close all the time. So I think coming out of that, a lot of people had to adapt to the other person's mood and the other person's energy, and it might have thrown them off, or they may have, kind of taken some of their energy on. And I know for me in a relationship, you tend to start acting like and emulating the person you're with. So a whole mood is about no longer allowing that person to cause a shift in your mood and like reclaiming your mood and being like, okay, you can leave now because I got to get back to me.
I feel
So yeah.
Reclaim your energy, protect it. It's
absolutely.
sacred.
Yes, it's a big
All
deal.
right. And plus, you got a body of work coming out. A whole mood.
I do. The EP is also called A Whole Mood. I've been recording since, I would say, right around Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
I've recorded almost 30 songs since then. Yeah, like I'm not playing. So, shout out to my executive producer, Dennis McKinley. But I'm really excited for people to hear this music because it's real life experience R&B. So they're gonna hear something they're going through, something they went through,
You're going
or
for
something
Keisha
that
Cole?
they can avoid going through.
You going for like Keisha Cole, that real life? Yeah.
Definitely giving real life soundtrack for sure.
Later, what's one single on this upcoming EP that we need to listen to? Why?
There is a song called "You Made Me This Way," and it's basically about women going crazy based on the nature of whatever relationship they were in, and the guy is like, "You're crazy," and it's like, "No, I wasn't when you met me, but you made me this way." So
Touch the trigger point, right? There we go.
absolutely.
And now it relates to your whole thing about women empowerment and how you are a champion of women. Can you get into that a little bit?
Yeah, so I've always been a girl's girl. Like, I've always been a cheerleader. I've never been a person that, if it's not my turn, I'm happy to cheer on whoever season it is.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not going to take anything away from me to celebrate another woman because when I'm in my season and it's my moment, I want that to be reciprocated. So I'm not a mean girl. I've never been like that. I've always embraced people. I've never met a stranger. And all of the women in my personal circle, we're the same. So at brunch, we spend money like drug dealers in the 80s. Whoever is up, we're all up.
I
Whoever
saw
we're
that tweet
celebrating, we're
before.
celebrating. Yeah, like literally. So I'm just one of those people that I feel like we're all the same. We're just arriving at different points, and we're having similar experiences. And there's no reason for me to not celebrate you, and there's no reason for you not to celebrate me. So I'm really big on that. I'm really big on sisterhood. I'm really big on women empowerment, and I'm really big on like unity. That's a big theme in my life.
Yeah, I could tell all the names you worked with. I'm thinking don't you ever felt like a little animosity? You want that same recognition, but you've been cheering on people for a while. Now it's your turn. How does it feel to say that it's your turn now?
It feels good, honestly. And I kind of have a chip on my shoulder because a lot of people have tried to put me in a box, like, oh, she's just a hook singer, or oh, she's just a songwriter, or oh, that's just Torica, like girl next door, like that's my homegirl. No, I'm Torica, the superstar. I'm Torica, the serial entrepreneur. I'm Torica, the music like connoisseur. I'm here, and you won't be able to ignore me, and I'm not going anywhere.
A chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
I like
I
that.
have a lot to prove, mainly to myself, but I know there are a few people who have, they haven't hated on me, but they haven't done anything to help me win any faster. So it's for them.
I think it's called dry hate. You ever heard that term before?
No, but I was today years old, so yeah, dry hate.
Basically, it's like they're not hating out loud, but they're not really supporting you.
Right.
So dry hate.
Yeah. So I've definitely experienced that for sure.
Okay, got you. And
Yeah.
throughout making this whole EP, you got one story where you were like, I got this chip on my shoulder. I got to get in the studio. I got to prove these bitches wrong. You got one story?
So I think what really sparked me to get back in the studio is I wasn't hearing anything I loved on the radio. When I was like going through Apple Music and listening to the different playlists, I'm like, I'm what's missing. Like I'm missing from this equation. And not, not saying that in a way to talk bad about or downgrade anybody else, but there's just a certain element that I bring to the table musically that I'm not hearing and I'm not feeling. And I felt like people that are gravitating to the music that's out right now, if they like that, they'll love what I'm doing, for sure.
I mean, if you go on Twitter, you can see people aren't really feeling the music that came out this year.
Yeah.
Except for a couple of people, so you might have a point right there. I'm not gonna
No,
lie
I
to
really
you.
feel like it's a perfect time for me to get back and,
What do you think
zoom
is
to the top of the
missing
charts.
in music out right now that you better come out with? Is it love? Is it passion? What is it?
It's a little bit of emotion.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of music just sounds like it's putting you to sleep. Like it's too laid back. It's too chill.
Too cool.
Yeah, it's a little too cool. It's like people are afraid to just step out of this box of like everything sounding like one monotonous long run-on sentence. So I'm definitely bringing like that emotionally charged delivery. The substance of what I'm singing about is a little different from what's out there, but I'm still spicy. I still have bops. I still have songs for the girls and the guys, but I don't have like male bashing R&B music. Honestly, men listening to my music would learn a lot more about how to treat us.
That's interesting because
Yeah.
as a guy who loves R&B and neo soul, I'm a good example of that. Like
Yeah.
I'll wake up and listen to Sade every morning because one of my favorite artists.
Like
you know?
my R&B
Yeah.
is not the R&B that if a guy was blasting it at a light, he wouldn't like immediately turn it down because like he'd be like, oh my God, I can't be.
I don't
seen
turn that down
listening to this."
regardless.
Yeah. So
And I'm a former athlete. I'll let my friends know I'm listening to this shit.
yeah, you're tapped into your
Right.
all of your moods,
Right, for real.
your whole mood.
For real.
No, facts. But honestly, I do think that, a lot of music is just too cool. It's not enough feeling. And it's not talking about love enough. Everything is like, oh, I'll steal your man or,
Like toxic stuff.
yeah, it's not, my music is not that. I am
Thank-
addressing some
thank
toxicity, but
God.
I'm not toxic. So.
Thank God, because I'm tired of toxic R&B, quote unquote, because it feels a little forced, right?
Yeah, it feels like, oh, let's just do what everybody else is doing. And I don't want to do
Yeah.
that. So while everybody is on this side of the street, I'm running down the one way, but going the wrong way.
Runway going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Or you're on the other side of the highway.
No, just a street. So I can just dip off if I need to.
That's an interesting analogy.
Yeah.
Do you apply that analogy to everything in life?
Pretty much. I'm really good at pivoting. I don't panic, I
Pivoting.
pivot. So yeah.
What was one moment you had to pivot throughout this whole process of just making a whole mood?
Well, I think the main thing that caused me to have to pivot is, like we just talked about, not getting sucked into the idea of having to sound like or do what is out right now. I was like, I want to do something that sounds current, that sounds modern, that's relatable, but I don't want it to sound like anything that's on the radio. So having to kind of navigate around that and try to find that happy medium was difficult, I won't lie, but it was important to me to take my time and really craft a body of work that I could be proud of. You can play my EP straight through, no skipping. You're gonna listen to the whole thing. You can clean up your house to it. You can drive around to it. You can sit in your car before you get out when you're at home and listen to it. Because somebody, out there needs that moment to decompress in their car.
Absolutely.
I definitely always do. But it's definitely something that people are gonna share. Like, yo, I gotta let somebody else know about this. Like, this shit is fire.
It's amazing right there.
Yeah.
Decompressing's a big word, especially R&B. That's mainly why I listen to it. It's very
Yeah.
relaxing. You can relate to it.
Absolutely.
And I do feel like it's missing today more that emotion element. Just,
Yeah.
so
Well, I got
fuck
you.
everything. It's like, God damn, can we love something?
You're gonna love my whole mood.
See,
No pun intended.
Not even
Pun
just the mood;
intended.
it's a whole mood. You gotta say the whole. You gotta say the whole title.
A
Remember?
whole mood. Like Lil Wayne says, please say the baby, please say a whole mood.
I like that. But let's pivot away from this real quick and let's talk about your team and how do they support you throughout the process of the EP?
Well, my executive producer, shout out to Dennis McKinley again. He really believes in me and he loves R&B. So I feel like anybody, if you're a recording artist, whether it's rap, R&B, whatever genre you're in, everyone on your team needs to love music. Like, it can't just be about data and stats and metrics and followers.
That's a
and
word right there.
Shares and downloads and streams. It has to be about, at the core of it, everybody has to love it. Because if they don't, then it's really just going to be based on things that aren't emotionally connected. Like, analytics isn't emotional.
That's true.
That's very unemotional. So I feel like that's why a lot of music is not good as it could be, because it's based on too much business.
Based on trends.
It has to be based on love. How much do you love it? Yeah.
Say that again for the camera.
It's all about love. That's what everything has to be based on. That's the foundation of everything.
What if you just say LOVEEEE?
Yeah, that part. Like, seriously.
That part.
So everybody on my team not only loves, R&B music, but they love my music. And we have thick skin on my team. Like, if something's not good or it doesn't sound right, they're like, girl, that's not it. And they're going to be honest, and they're going to tell me, and I'm not going to fire them because they said they didn't like something. Because they're consumers of music, so I take their opinion very seriously, and I value it and I respect it. So, I don't have yes men on my team. They'll get me together. If I have to be gathered, they gather me. But I think the most important part is the love of it. And we are like a family, and I respect everybody on my team, and everybody is equally important. A lot of artists are like, oh, that's just my assistant, or that's just my manager, or that's just, no, without these people, you can't do anything. And I feel like it's my responsibility to do 80% of the work, and it's their responsibility to do the other 20. And it's, for a lot of artists, it's the other way around. And as an artist, if you're not working harder than the people on your team, then that's not what's up.
Just about to ask an exclusive tip from MX, but you just said an exclusive tip right there.
Yeah, for sure. I should be putting in more work than everybody else because they're only making a small percentage of whatever I'm making. So I should be doing the majority of the work because I'm getting the majority of the money.
I feel that.
Yeah.
That's dope. This was I don't know how to describe this conversation. It's a wonderful conversation.
I just feel like you're like my homeboy from college, and we're just like talking.
HBCU connection.
Yeah, that part.
Howard, Bowie State.
HB.
Yeah.
Bowie, Howard.
How did your experience at Howard influence you today?
Howard is, a school of hustlers, okay? So one of my first friends that I met when I got to school was Yandy Smith. Shout out to my girl Yandy. We're still friends to this day, and we were literally the first two people that met each other on campus. So we just became fast friends, and on like Christmas break, Thanksgiving, she's from New York, like Harlem specifically, and I'm from South Carolina. So going all the way to South Carolina for like 3 days didn't always make sense. So sometimes I would go to New York with Yandy and spend Thanksgiving and Christmas with her family. And it was like they embraced me. But one thing I love about Howard is everybody is doing something incredible that I went to school with. So we have a lot of really big shoes to fill. We have a chip on our shoulder as well because, we're like the real HU, we're the Harvard of HBCU. So a lot of people look at us like, oh, y'all better accomplish big things because y'all talk all this
Y'all
shit
versus
about
Hampton.
Howard. Yeah.
Y'all versus Hampton for years.
Yeah, about that. Hi, Hampton, but we're the real HU. No shade, no tea.
I mean, I enjoy the games. I'm not gonna lie, the football games be amazing up there.
Yeah,
I used to
it's
cover
fun.
them for like a sports outlet back in DC because I'm from DC. So I was like, holy shit, y'all really good at it.
No, for real. Like, we go hard. And honestly, what I also loved about Howard is the love of music. Like, music is a huge part of the Howard experience. Going to parties and everybody singing along, like singing all the words, partying, like sweating our hair out, like actually dancing, having a good time. Like, Howard is a party school, but it's also a family experience. Like, you feel like, that everybody's your cousin at Howard.
Yeah, for sure. And I got one question.
Yes.
Since you went to school in DC, what do you know about go-go?
Oh, everything. Have you heard the Sick of Being Lonely Go-Go remix?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nucci, the front porch, Miss Kim. Oh.
Yes, no.
No, that's BYB. with
Go-Go is
Anwan Glover, yeah.
everything. Like,
Shout
I
out to you
always
for
tell
knowing
people,
that.
Yeah, I always tell people, if you come to DC, you have to go to a go-go cabaret. Like, you can't not do that. Like, that's an experience that everybody needs to have. Like, it's so much fun. And again, it's based on love and emotion. And it's real, and it feels good, and it's authentic. And it taps into, like, our African roots, so. Yeah.
Yes, it does. And have you checked out Miss Kim's release yet? She just dropped something with the same company.
No,
you did.
but I will today since you just
Please do.
turned
She
me
did
onto it.
Pieces of Me. It
Oh
sounded
my God.
great.
I'm sure that's so
Pieces of Me. Yup.
dope. Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
Absolutely. And now unfortunately, we got to conclude this conversation. You have any final? You have any final quote for us?
Final quote. So I like to always leave rooms better than I find them. So I would like to encourage everyone out there to support someone you know who is chasing their dream. It is very difficult. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of sleepless nights. It's a lot of sacrifices. It's a lot of time away from your family. And if you guys don't support those people chasing those dreams, it can be very isolating. It can be very depressing. And honestly, like for me, I think music is therapy. So it's very therapeutic for me to go in the studio and write and record and sing. But it's so much that goes into that 3 minutes and 30 seconds of a song. And when people don't reciprocate it with support, it's hard to keep doing that. So this is not free. It's not easy. It's a lot. And we need your support. That's all I have to say. Like, actually support your people. Don't just say, oh, that's my homegirl, or wait till they blow up, because it's too late then.
Music Exclusives, we're all about supporting our artists. This is Living Good Living with Torica, and we out.